It's another episode of Boomer TV. Hello, I'm Paul Pooty.
And I'm Julie Patterson, and we're so glad you're watching this morning.
Jingle rails, jingle all the way.
We're going to take you to the Idle-George Museum for their jingle rails. Route 66 is taking the place of Hollywood from last year, so you'll see it.
Okay, we'll take you there and take you to watch the Colts cheerleaders. Only, anybody can watch the Colts cheerleaders. We have kind of a different view of them.
Yeah, at their 35th reunion, we've got all generations. Wait till you meet them.
And so much food is wasted around the world. I read the other day, like 30% of what's produced is not used. But Second Helpings helps out by rescuing some of that food.
All right. We're going to learn on the show today about alternative dispute resolution.
Are we having a fight?
Are you picking one? No, we don't fight.
But if we did have a conflict, we have some people that can help out.
Yeah, and you're going to learn about it on today's show. It's going to be a great show. We're glad you're joining us, so let's get to it.
Boomer TV is made possible with support from Westport Homes, dedicated to building homes for every chapter of life, with plans and details that match customers' specific needs and style. Additional funding is provided by Altman, Poindexter, and Wyatt attorneys, serving clients throughout central Indiana with wills, trusts, and estates, with over 70 years of combined experience. Unique Home Solutions, serving more than 30,000 homeowners since 1983. Providing home remodeling services from minor updates to complete renovations with a mission to improve appearance and efficiency.
I love choo-choo trains. As a matter of fact, some of our Thanksgiving was me setting up the little model train. The grandsons love the trains.
I like Jimmy Choo, but I do like trains too.
I had to check her shoes.
The jingle rails at the Idle-George Museum is something to really see. It's fun to go with the grandson too.
Oh, and with some adults.
Yeah. Well, Amanda is going to take you there on Boomer TV.
This is the 9th year for the Jingle Rails exhibit. There's over 1,200 feet of track and 9 tracks running up and down. All buildings are made of plant materials from leaves, twigs, bark, nuts, even dried fruit. The concept for the exhibit is from Indianapolis to the west by way of national parks.
When they first come in the door, they're going to see Indianapolis. When they start walking around, they'll see the different national parks, Yellowstone and Grand Canyon and some of the other parks. And then there's trains running around them all. And of course they see outside now, they see the trains running out in the hallway. So that's what they see when they first come in.
You'll see the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, Union Station, and even Lucas Oil Stadium.
We started this exhibit, we didn't have a holiday exhibit 10 years ago. So about 10 years ago, we started concepting this exhibit, opened up in 2010. And every year we've tried to add to the tradition of the holidays and the exhibit itself. It starts in Indianapolis, the journey, if you will.
Yeah.
And as you go through the exhibit, you see classic structures and iconic Western parks, things that the average person when they're traveling through the West would have seen or would know.
Yeah, wow. Now, I would love to bring my little girl to this, but I mean, who's going to love this? This is really an entire family. You could bring the whole family to this, make this a tradition.
Well, being a model train exhibit, I joke that the target audience is literally, 2 years old to, 82 years old or what have you. I mean, it just pretty much everything that anyone could enjoy about the holidays, model trains, the mystique of them, they would enjoy with this exhibit. So it really is a family tradition that we've created, and we have people coming back every year. We have grandparents bringing their grandkids, we have parents bringing their children, so it's a wonderful time.
While this is the 9th year for the exhibit, every year is a little bit different.
Interesting to see what they do new every year. And it looks new every year because trees get moved around from year to year. They're not always in the same place.
This year, Hollywood was replaced with Route 66.
We've heard the song, we know a little bit about Route 66, you see it pop up in commercials and articles here and there. But there's a lot of history with Route 66, and a lot of it is in this installation this year. It starts in Chicago. You pass by the St. Louis Arch, and it goes all the way to Santa Monica Pier Ferris wheel, which is an iconic structure at Santa Monica. So it covers the whole slate, and just seeing all the little tidbits about the national parks, you know, the Golden Gate Bridge, just every iconic piece of the West is represented here.
Now you can go to different holiday exhibits throughout the city, maybe go see Santa. What is it that's different about Jingle Rails?
Being a model train exhibit, I think there's just a unique mystique to that. Everything you see in this exhibit is made out of natural materials, so you're not going to see anything like this. And the company that built this for us, Applied Imagination, we work with them on a continuous basis, and they make installations similar to this for other places around the country. This is a one of a kind. And so
I love the sounds of the train.
You've got the lights, you've got the sounds. You really all the kind of sensory things that you would enjoy or anyone would enjoy around the holidays is kind of covered here.
All right, well, thank you so much for showing this. I cannot wait to bring my family. This is definitely going to be on the list of things you need to check out this holiday season. For now, I'm Amanda Clark with Boomer TV.
Altman, Poindexter, Wyatt.
I have heard those names before.
Well, they have great advice, and they've been on the show before.
I agree.
Oh, alternative dispute resolution is the topic.
If
for
we
this
weren't
morning.
agreeing, then they would be able to help us.
Oh, I don't think we've ever had a dispute that I...
But just in case.
Just in case.
We know the people.
And can you kind of identify what the difference is between arbitration and mediation?
Well, there are a few primary differences. One of the biggest differences and misconceptions is that in mediation, it is a third-party neutral that really is attempting only to facilitate an agreement. So, in other words, they're not making any decisions. It's not a judge, it's not a jury, it's not a person that's making decisions. They're really only trying to help you and the other side reach an agreement. Arbitration, which is usually binding arbitration, is a third-party neutral who's making a decision and then telling you and the other side the decision. So that's the primary distinction, is decision versus facilitation. Indiana adopted rules quite a long time ago which allow for alternative methods of resolving those disputes.
Yes.
And we have 5 methods. The most common methods are what we just talked about. They're mediation and they're arbitration. The third, probably most common method in Indiana out of the 5 is private judging. So you can go and literally hire a former judge and have them be the decision maker in your case. You know, one of the reasons clients don't like going to court, out of a number of reasons, but one of the reasons they don't like going to court is that our courts are very busy and it takes a long time to get a hearing date. And then it takes a while to get your decision. So if you can hire a former judge and get a quicker hearing date and a quicker decision because they don't have a backlog of 1,000 or more cases, then that may be very good for them. So that's the third most common method.
Many trials aren't really used a lot.
No.
Yes, so it would be mostly that arbitration, mediation. I'm looking at ways in which a consumer or an individual could appeal to their lawyer and saying, listen, I want to go this pathway. I want to avoid, say, a trial, maybe to save some money. And looking at it from the standpoint, if I don't have any kind of contract that states that I need to go to arbitration or mediation. Yes.
So those are 2 really good points. At any time during the case, a client can always say to their lawyer, you know, let's explore the possibility of going to mediation. Let's talk about the possibility of arbitration. The majority of cases that go to mediation settle. It is a good process. It is a worthwhile process. Not every case settles, but the majority of cases that go to mediation settle.
The mediator can be a nice referee.
And there's, you know, something about the process and people getting together and being able to tell both stories and working through it at the same time in real time, not letters, not even emails going between the lawyers, but all being engaged at the same time in the same facility and getting through it and being done, having resolution. And it's a process that works the majority of the time.
Oh, very good. Ann, thanks for having us.
Thank
being
you.
here and explaining all of these different methods to resolving disputes. I'm Kevin Kimbrough, Boomer TV.
Now, when it comes to food, Julie, I like a second helping.
I bet you do.
I am a big eater.
You've heard of second helpings, though.
Yes, I have, although I think there's more probably to it than what I realized.
There is. They repurpose food and feed thousands. Also, they have a culinary school. Did you know that? Yeah.
I'm just, how do you repurpose food? That sounds interesting.
Well, you're going to find out in this segment, and you'll find out all about second helpings.
Second Helpings provides hunger relief. CEO Jennifer Vigran shares how they are changing the community one meal at a time.
We don't serve anyone here in the building. All of our meals go out into the community. The only people who are served here in the building are the people who are volunteering that day and maybe a few guests. And that's the meal that's prepared by our culinary job training students. But the magic that's going on in the Hunger Relief Kitchen right now, that's where all of our volunteers are hard at work. And they're preparing more than 4,000 meals a day that are going to senior centers, they're going to shelters, they're going to children's programs, all free of charge.
We run about 30 volunteers on a shift normally every day, so meals could not be done without them. They're all, I'd say most of them are foodies, so they really enjoy what they're doing. They like to taste the tilts. Give them a lot of freedom with it, you know, let them have fun while they're doing it. That's what my philosophy is all about. We're feeding people and having a great time.
Everything looks so healthy too. I mean, you've got fresh cut vegetables. So is that really important to you that these are hot, nutritious meals?
Absolutely. I think that we need to feed people nutritious meals. We need to think about the agencies we're sending them to and what their clients are like and what we need to send to them. As far as the culinary job training, I mean, it's, again, an awesome thing. We're taking people that are underemployed, unemployed, and teaching them skills, not just to go out into the culinary field, but life skills. You know, some people may have not had a job in a long time. They may not understand how to bank or how to write a good resume. So our goal is to teach them the fundamentals of cooking so they can go into a restaurant and maybe get a step above an entry-level position, as well as understand how life works. And if they choose to go into the restaurant field and it works for a while, but they've learned some other skills, that's fantastic too.
Second Helpings transforms lives through the power of food with free training in its culinary school.
This is our CJT, Culinary Job Training Kitchen. Our class will be anywhere from 7 to 14 students. You can see they have all the equipment that a restaurant would have, lots of stock pots, you know, prep area, slicers, ovens. So it's laid out with some pretty good equipment.
How do they do all this? Second Helpings rescues lives from hunger by first rescuing food.
track to rescue 2.5 million pounds of food this year. So it's food that would have otherwise been wasted, but we get to turn it into 1 million meals and train adults with it.
I love the term, even the way you phrase that you rescue this food. So tell us a little more about that story, the rescuing.
Sure. So it's food that has either been overproduced or over-ordered. So as you can see, it's all beautiful things, but maybe they couldn't sell it, or perhaps the box was damaged, but the product's still good. So we'll come and get it. We pick the food up in refrigerated trucks. Food safety is #1 for us. We'll bring it back to Second Helpings, sort it, decide what we can use in the meals, and then what we can't use, we will redirect to food pantries and other places that can use it.
More than 700 volunteers, most of them boomers, help make and distribute the food to locations throughout Indianapolis.
I've been doing this for 13 years, every Friday, and plus some extra things when they have fundraisers and stuff. I just love it.
You have an apron on. What do? You mainly cook in the kitchen?
Whatever they have for me to do. Chop food, dice food, make, dish up food to send out. I do about everything that I can handle. And the volunteers I work with, I feel like I've known them my whole life, so it's good.
You ask the drivers, they'll tell you they've got the best volunteer job, although just about every volunteer in the building will tell you they have the best volunteer job. But they get to go out and take those nice hot meals to the child care centers and to the after-school programs. And when you talk to those drivers, they'll tell you there is nothing more rewarding than seeing where those meals are going.
I imagine the happy faces and knowing that they're getting warm, good food.
Yes, and the kids who are all excited going, "What's for lunch today? What's for lunch today?" And so they get to be part of that and really see that impact directly.
Well, Jennifer, we thank you so much, Second Helpings, for nourishing the community, nourishing those in need. And for all the boomers, there's lots of things to still do here. Take part, drive a van, make some food. So thank you so much for all that you do. And I'm Cheryl Mathis with Boomer TV.
I have to tell you something.
What?
That I am fascinated with cheerleaders.
Who knew?
I'm married to an ex-cheerleader.
You are?
So, well, high school cheerleader. Yeah.
Mrs. Poteet is a former cheerleader?
Mrs. Poteet is a former cheerleader.
You know what? I can see that. I can totally see that. I really can.
So you spent like a bunch of time with a whole bunch of former cheerleaders.
I sure did. From 1984 on, 35 years worth of Colts cheerleaders. And you know what?
I bet they still look good.
They look great. They've still
like
got
Mrs.
it.
Poteet. Yeah.
So many different diverse backgrounds. Wait till you meet our Colts. Wait, we call them the ladies of the horseshoe.
Awesome!
No, leave it to the professionals. Look, here's a future cheerleader. Let's get the cartwheel. Go for it, girl. Oh my goodness. She's got a future. What did being a Colts cheerleader bring to your world and your life in the years after?
People were at first kind of struck a little bit. Oh, you cheer for the Colts. They always want to know, tell me about it. Tell me about the girls, tell me about the games. And I think we were able to surprise so many people with just the regulations and everything that it takes to put squads together. I mean, there was a lot to it, and I think being able to say we were cheerleaders, it was big. It was big.
The best part about being a Colts cheerleader, what do you think?
Well, we talk a lot about sisterhood. So I think being a part of that sisterhood is the best part of being a Colts cheerleader, because once you're a Colts cheerleader, always a Colts cheerleader.
Kind of like your own sorority. Did you look forward to practice?
Oh, yes. I loved practice, and me at the time I was in the military. So I was able to, what was so exciting for me, because I have a military family, and I did it on a dare to try out. And then when I made it, I had this wonderful, amazing group of women with amazing backgrounds and professions. It was like a soldier and a cheerleader. It's a girly girl, and this, my day.
The tough girl.
It was fabulous.
As a firefighter, it's all about your your family. You know, we're a family even on my job as a firefighter. And so, you know, you work together, you live together, you know, so it's the same kind of concept. So I've taken it from the Colts to the firehouse, just, yeah.
I think being in that public eye, it kind of helps you become a spokesperson or just be able to relate to the public. And so being that cheerleader, you entertain, but you also, you provide a service to community. And I know the girls now on the squad, they do a lot of that community service, and it shows, you know, and that's carried on in my life as well as I started my own nonprofit charity.
Oh my goodness. I'm so proud of all of you because as somebody going to the Colts game, a patron, you know, we look down there like, gosh, you're gorgeous and they can move and they have all this talent and we don't think about what else you do after or before the games. That's cool. All right, we're here with a couple of cheerleaders from 2005, 2006 that went to the Pro Bowl. What was that like?
Just an amazing experience. Just to be with the cheerleaders, one from every squad, getting together and cheering at the Loha Stadium was amazing.
So, one of the highlights of your career?
For sure, yeah. The girls vote on us, so it's a huge honor.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it's incredible.
Okay, cool. 2006, you also had an extended honor at the Pro Bowl that year. What was it?
Oh, yes. Well, not only the Pro Bowl, but here for the Indianapolis Colts game, I had the opportunity to sing the national anthem, Monday Night Football, and that's actually propelled me into a career of music and singing. So that's what I'm doing currently.
My first year was 2009, and then my last year was 2012. Then I took a couple years off for nursing school, and then tried out again in 15. I worked at Riley when I worked here, or when I lived here in Indianapolis, and now I live in California. So I work out there.
Did you come here all the way for the reunion?
I did. I got in at 5 a.m. and I leave tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So I'm here for 36 hours, and it's totally worth it.
This is Anika, class of 98. 98 is very significant in Colts history. Tell us why.
Because it was Peyton Manning's rookie year.
And who helped judge the cheerleaders that year and select them?
Peyton Manning.
So you could say she was hand-selected by Peyton Manning because it's kind of true.
Yes, it is. Actually, he asked me a question.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was?
I don't remember what it was, but he was instrumental in me making the team. So thank you, Peyton.
Yeah. What do you remember about being a Colts cheerleader that stands out?
For me, it's very personal. I was bullied in high school, severely bullied, and I actually wanted to try out for the high school cheerleading squad, and the director wouldn't even give me an application. So I tried out for the Colts on a whim, just to see what it's like to try out. And for me to make it and kind of have that full circle moment, it was special to me. So it means much more than just being on the field. The sisterhood, the friendships, the organization itself is just outstanding. I'm an anti-bully advocate, so when I speak to the youth, especially girls, and I tell them about my experiences, about my self-esteem issues, not feeling good enough, being rejected by the director of the high school cheerleading team, it's kind of inspirational for them.
Yes.
And it really uplifts me, and the Colts were really instrumental in that piece in my life. So
I think just representing the city of Indianapolis. I'm from Bloomington, and I love Indianapolis, and I've always loved sports, and so I think just being able to represent the city in such a positive way.
The backgrounds are so diverse. Firefighters, military, we've got moms, jewelry makers, professionals, nonprofit CEOs. It's amazing. The confidence they got being Colts cheerleaders helped propel them into those professions.
Oh, Julie, my head is full. We better stop.
Yeah, because
I've learned too much.
It's going to explode.
Explode. And we hope you learned something too, or at least enjoyed half an hour's worth of some new information about life in central Indiana.
Yeah, we got style on this show. I like it.
Yeah, and we'll be back to do some more of it soon. So tell your friends and come back at the same time next week.
All right.
Okay,
We'll see you then.
See you. For more all things Boomer, just visit our website. That's indyboomer.com. Indy Boomer connects TV, magazine, and radio. It contains useful information for baby boomers all over the Indianapolis metropolitan area. And you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Pick up Indy Boomer magazine at most Kroger stores and libraries. Look for us all over Indy.
Listen to Boomer Radio every Saturday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. on Freedom 95 with a rebroadcast Sundays at 7:30. Indy Boomer, for the next chapter of your life.
Boomer TV is made possible with support from Westport Homes, dedicated to building homes for every chapter of life, with plans and details that match customers' specific needs and style. Additional funding is provided by Altman, Poindexter, and Wyatt attorneys, serving clients throughout central Indiana with wills, trusts, and estates, with over 70 years of combined experience. Unique Home Solutions, serving more than 30,000 homeowners since 1983. Providing home remodeling services from minor updates to complete renovations with a mission to improve appearance and efficiency.